Greetings and bienvenue, MITZU. Thank you for returning to this broadcast, and welcome to new viewers joining us for the first time. If you like a video, then feel free to subscribe.
Hello/X/ I have a present for you. The reasoning behind the Illuminati, family shadow governments, and why they do what they do. This string of posts will explain it all, and you shall empathize with them after you read it. It will also explain the upcoming harvest. 0.95% of the information here is accurate, and 5% is false. Get ready for a major dose of truth from a guy who posted this in 2008 claiming to be of a family bloodline.
I am a generational member of a ruling bloodline family. Every so often, as per the directives of the law of our Creator, a brief window of opportunity opens, whereby a select handful of our family are required to make communication with our subjects and offer you the chance to ask us any questions you would like answered. I am double bound in this duty. It is required of me by the law of our Creator to offer this opportunity to you at this time, though I am also bound by the law of planetary free will and by family oaths that there is only so much I am able to say. Rules define life in games. If you wish to participate, here they are. 1. I will afford you courtesy and respect in the manner I address you, and I expect the same from you in reciprocation. 2. I will decide whether or not I am either willing or permitted to answer your question. If your question is not answered, it is either because I cannot disclose it, or because I considered your question was lacking in one or more of the following: respect, courtesy, intelligence, decency, or that it was otherwise unworthy of being dignified with a response. 3. That you agree to treat this potential dialogue with an aspect of provisional faith. In practice, this means that rather than impeding the flow of information with crass comments of disbelief or petty name-calling, my participation here requires that you discourse with me under suspended judgment. In other words, wait until the process is complete before deciding for yourself as to the content of truth and knowledge imparted herein. 4. That you formulate your questions intelligently. My time is limited. I do not want to waste it by having to trawl through pointless, futile, insensible, or disrespectful questions. Therefore, I will answer the questions I feel are most deserving of a response during the time that I have available. Use the time we have wisely. If any of the above conditions are breached, I reserve the right to terminate our discourse forthwith, if I so choose. That being said, I will attempt to answer your questions as honestly and openly as is permissible for me. I will check back and respond as time allows. My original account has not received its email validation, hence the new one I am now using. A good start. Thank most of you for respecting the boundaries I have set. I answer as follows. 1. How many generations back does your bloodline extend? Or perhaps more accurately, who does your family consider its earliest ancestor in a position of power? Our lineage can be traced back beyond antiquity. From the earliest times of your recorded history and beyond, our family has been directing the play from behind the scenes in one way or another. Before the rise and fall of Atlantis. Yes, that was indeed perfectly real. We are born to lead. It is part of the design for this current paradigm. 2. To what extent has selective breeding been used to preserve the purity of the line, and what becomes of children of unapproved unions? They would naturally still be raised with privilege, but not perhaps given the keys to the castle, as it were? The breeding is generally case-specific, dependent upon the role that the family members in question are due to grow into. I will touch more on this in answer to the next poster's question that you rephrased. There are no unapproved unions. Our family will always intermarry between lines, or what we would term houses. Marriages are arranged. In all my years alive, I have never seen or heard of a family member breaking this code as far as marriage goes. You do as you are told. One cannot join the family. One is born or incarnated into it. On the rare instances of a child being born that could be seen as bringing difficulties, you are correct in your premise that it would be raised as part of the family, though would not grow up in the house or community of either of its parents. 3. If one were to imagine a scale, perhaps as a triangle with political, religious, and corporate power at the 3 points, How would you categorize the power your family yields? Balanced, leaning more towards one or two than a third, heavily favoring one of the three above the others. And has that position shifted over time? You need to first understand the structure of the family. In the grand scheme of things, the line is not as important as the house. The house is not as important as the family. The family is all. No matter the house or line, we are one, truly international family. Imagine, if you will, a body. A house would represent a vital organ or body part within the body itself. Each part has an important role to play in the functioning of the whole, and to each of us, the whole has our undivided loyalty. As I say, many lines, far more than you are aware of. One family. Our realms of influence do not fit as comfortably into the three boxes of your triangle as you may imagine. There are 6 disciplines of training within the family, and each member of the family is schooled extensively in all of them, from early childhood. We all have an area of specialty, though we have experience in all spheres. The 6 spheres or schools of learning are military, government, spiritual, scholarship, leadership, and sciences. In practice, out there on the stage of public life, we hold key positions in all of these main areas of importance. With the addition of a complicit media machine and ownership of your financial establishments, all bases are covered. I will have to reply in parts due to the restriction of characters per post. Which ruling bloodline family? Rockefellers? That may be a bit too direct for our inquisite. I'd offer the following substitute. How many parallel bloodlines do you estimate are in similar positions to your own? And to what extent does your family see them as either competition or collaborators? Yes, as I say, knowing the line is of no practical use to you. It is the belonging to the family that is important. There are 13 base or core original bloodlines. Yet there are many, many other lines that spring from these, as do rivers from the oceans. If you imagine the 13 original lines as primary color that can be mixed to create a vast array of other colors, then you will have some comprehension. Again, no competition, just family. No competition in the sense of house against house, though it is a dog-eat-dog world. So there is interpersonal competition in that sense of the word. Everyone wants to move up. Our whole familial society is geared that way toward upward progression. What does the term generational member mean? Which generation specifically? It means that one is born into the family. The order and its agenda is handed down from generation to generation. Only in extremely rare occasions have outsiders been invested into the family, and then, even these were of other esoterically integrable lines. 1. Can you cite 2 or more previous instances whereby this directive has been upheld? Once in 1999, to what you would call an alternative media source. Once in 2003, on another internet conspiracy-based forum. Though the information relayed was not entirely pure, not from the intention of misleading, but rather through imperfect or incomplete knowledge of the messengers. If it is not in the mainstream controlled media, it will not be believed by the masses. This is information tailored for those who already know that we are very real and exerting a strong, if mostly subtle influence over your lives. If you wish to enslave a man, allow him to believe that he is already free. 2. By what basis is the timing of such revelations established? By the decree of the Supreme World Council, according to the will of the Creator. Are we really considered chattel and traded as such by the government? By the governments generally, yes. People are seen as collateral, pawns that are maneuvered around the chessboard according to the game plan. By the family, contrary to popular beliefs, many of us do not mean you any harm directly. There is just the matter of divine destiny to uphold and unfold, and we must play our parts in the game as given to us by the Creator. In many ways, it is actually in our own interest that you are prepared for the coming harvest. Just not maybe prepared in quite the way that you would like. Still, even then, you are choosing the negative polarity with your own free will decisions, with a little help and direction from us. Souls are harvestable in either extreme of the polarities, one could say. If so, how do we become free men? You will never be free, for as long as you are incarnating on this planet. The very nature of your being here is an indication of that. There is a reason why you are here, And here is very likely not really where you think here is. How do you become free? By working out where you are and coming to an understanding of why you are here. You are fast running out of time to do so before the coming harvest. Those that don't make it will have to repeat the cycle. OP, what proof do you have that ruling elite families exist and that you're a member of one? It's something that I think you thought was not falsifiable, which is why you chose that identity for the story you're weaving. However, I think there may indeed be a way you can prove it. I have no need to prove anything to you. I am merely doing my duty as directed to me. Believe or do not believe, we are divinely indifferent. I am obliged to complete this task here. The end result is of no consequence to me. I will have discharged my duty in handing down certain information that must be released at this time. There is no stipulation as to where I do so, only that I do. I chose above top secret, as the general level of intelligence, comprehension, and reasoning is reckoned to be higher than in many such forums. Understand, due to the law of free will, I cannot just give you information, at least not without consequences to my own person, which I would rather avoid. It is an infringement upon your free will, your right to not know. You have to ask me for the information you want, only then can I provide it. So whilst there are important things I have to share, if I am not asked the questions, I cannot get that information to you. I am hopeful that synchronicity will bring the most important questions of real depth out from among you. My duty is to offer. Yours is to ask. My duty is fulfilled, whether or not yours is. Surely if ruling elite families exist and you're a member of one, then you must be controlling global events through world governments. Tell us one major government action from any country that is going to occur in the next 5 days. I won't be surprised when you refuse to do so. I am not at liberty to discuss such intimate immediate detail, and in many cases I am not far enough up the hierarchy to know anyway. Typically I would receive a call a day before the enactment of a major event, just to say something along the lines of, "This part of such and such a plan will take place tomorrow, in such and such a way, do not be alarmed." Also, one has to take into account the specific areas of specialty I mentioned previously. My area is in spirituality, so my focus is not so much on geopolitical events. I am aware of the overall design, though the finer points are not often my area of expertise. I am prepared to give you some things coming down the timeline that you will be able to look back upon and verify my predictions retrospectively. The stock markets will soon complete their controlled demolition, after an initial appearance that the bailouts and rescue packages have steadied the ship. There will be new record lows by the end of the month. Our financial institutions will later call in all loans. There will be many bankruptcies and foreclosures. Why do you think the media is so important to us? You have, as a society, in your hypnotized comatose state, given your free will consent to the state your planet is in today. You saturate your minds with the unhealthy dishes served up for you on your televisions that you are addicted to. Violence, pornography, greed, hatred, selfishness, incessant bad news, fear, and terror. When was the last time you stopped to think of something beautiful and pure? The planet is the way it is because of your collective thoughts about it. You are complicit in your inaction every time you look the other way when you see an injustice. Your thought at the subconscious level of creation to the Creator is your allowance of these things to occur. In doing so, you are serving our purpose. It is very important to us that the polarization of this planet is negative at the time of the Great Harvest. That means service to self-orientated, as opposed to positive service to others. We require a negative harvest, and you are doing a fine job of helping us to attain our goal. We are very grateful. There will be dramatic changes to your climate and weather conditions over the next few decades as the time of the Great Harvest approaches. You will see wind speeds surpassing 300 miles per hour at times. There will be raging tsunamis and widespread devastation. Okay, a lot to get through here, so please let me finish the many posts it will take to answer your questions, due to the limit on characters per post, before you reply so as not to interrupt the flow of the message. How do you know that your bloodline deserves to lead and the rest deserve to follow? Wealth and power is self-propagating. Therefore, I say to you that your bloodline only comprises the extreme elite of the world because your ancestors came to power by chance in the beginning. not because you're kind or special. In fact, there's nothing special, clever, or honorable in enslaving others. It is not about deserving or not. Does one deserve to be born English or American or Italian or French or German and so on? We came not to power by chance, but rather, which I know may be hard to swallow, by intelligent design. This path of ours was not chosen by us, but rather it was appointed and accepted. Who is your creator, and is your creator the same as our creator? This is an excellent question which I can use to draw our communication closer to the core, yes and no. You would first need to understand the creation. In the beginning there is the Infinite One. This is the source of all, intelligent infinity. It is the undifferentiated absolute. Within it is unlimited potential, waiting to become. Think of it as the uncarved block of your Taoist traditions. Infinite intelligence, becoming aware of itself, seeks to experience itself, and the one infinite creator is born or manifest. This appears to your third density comprehension as space. In effect, the creator is a point of focused infinite consciousness or awareness into infinite intelligent energy. The one infinite creator also becomes self-aware, seeks to experience itself as creator, and in so doing, begins the next step down in the creational spiral. The one infinite creator, in focusing its infinite intelligence, becomes intelligent energy, which you could call the great central sun, and divides itself into smaller portions of itself that can then in turn experience themselves as creators or central suns. In other words, each central sun or creator is a step down in conscious awareness or distortion from the original thought of creation. So in the beginning was not the word but thought. The word is thought expressed and made manifest as creator. You say that you come from 13 original bloodlines, yet the DNA mapping project clearly proved that all humanity descended from only 3. Does this mean you aren't human? An excellent question, thank you. Yes, that is correct in a manner of speaking. If you were to meet me walking down the street, I would appear just as human as you do. We've been incarnating here with you for generations, yet our bloodlines do not originate from this planet. Your answer to the 6 disciplines of learning are quite similar to a book about Atlantis that was supposed to have been channeled. Was this also a time for your bloodlines to post answers? Yes, that is correct. Again, in a manner of speaking. Other, shall we say, off-world entities also visited the planet at that time and passed down their own understandings of creation as well as their technology from what we could best describe as being a future aspect of yourselves. It was humanity's errors in handling this information that ultimately led to the destruction of Atlantis. Having now answered a question on whether or not our lineage is of human origin, I can return to tie in that answer with an explanation as to who is our creator. I'm dancing close to the line in answering this, but the record needs to be set straight, and I should just about be able to get away with it without incurring my own upline's displeasure. Let us get to the crux of the matter. Our creator is the one you refer to as Lucifer, the light-bearer and bright and morning star. Our creator is not the devil as he has been spuriously portrayed in your Bible. Lucifer is what you would call a group soul or social memory complex, which has evolved to the level of the 6th density, which in effect means that he, or more accurately, we, has evolved to a level sufficient that we, has attained a status equal or arguably greater than that of Yahweh. We have evolved higher than him. In appearance, were you to gaze upon Lucifer's fullest expression of our being, the appearance would be that of a sun or a bright star. Or, when stepping down into a 3rd density vibration, we would appear as what you may term an angel or light being. Allow me to elucidate. When an entity, group soul complex, evolves to the level of the 6th density, it is by comparison to the amount of time it takes to get that far, a mere hop skip and a jump from 8th density ultimate reunion with the one infinite creator, and then from there back to dissolution into the source of all, intelligent infinity. We, our bloodline families, as a group soul or social memory complex, Lucifer, were on the verge of 7th density ascension, though at this level before harvest comes, we have the choice to progress higher, or to return to help others of lower densities with their own evolution, by passing down our knowledge and wisdom, light, to those that call upon us for assistance with their own free will. Now at this time, having made our decision to stay and help our galactic brothers and sisters in the One, we were assigned a challenging task by the Council of Elders, who act as the guardians of this galaxy from their 8th density headquarters on the planet Saturn. Okay, so your family and fellow elites might be as entrapped in the earthly realm as we are, but why actively propagate and aid the forces of enslavement? Because that is the part we have been contracted to play in this game. In order to win, or more accurately to be successful in, the game, we must be as negatively polarized as possible. Service to self in the extreme. Violence, war, hatred, greed, control, enslavement, genocide, torture, moral degradation, prostitution, drugs, all these things and more, they serve our purpose in the game. The difference between us and you in the game is that we know that we are playing. The less you know about the game, and the less you remember that you're a player, the more senseless living becomes. In all these negative things, we are providing you with tools, but you do not see it. It is not what we do, but how you react to it that is important. We give you the tools. You have the free will choice how you will use them. You have to take responsibility. There is only one of us here. Understand that and you will understand the game. There is unity. Unity is all there is. Infinite intelligence and infinite energy. The two are one, and within them is the potential for all creation. This state of consciousness could be termed as being. Infinite intelligence does not recognize its potential. It is the undifferentiated absolute. But infinite energy recognizes the potential of becoming all things in order to bring any desired experience into being. Intelligent infinity can be likened to the central heartbeat of life, and infinite energy as the spiritual lifeblood, or potential, which pumps out for the creator to form the creation. Creation is based upon the 3 primary distortions of the infinite one. 1. Free will. In the first law, or distortion of creation, the creator receives the free will to know and experience itself as an individuated, though, paradoxically, unified aspect of the One. 2. Love. In the second law of creation, the initial distortion of free will becomes a focus point of awareness known as logos, or love, or the word in biblical terms. Love, or logos, using its infinite intelligent energy, then takes on the role of co-creating a vast array of physical illusions, thought forms, or densities, which some call dimensions, in which, according to its intelligent design, will best offer the range of potential experiences in which it can know itself. In effect, the one infinite creator, in dividing itself into logos, could be termed in your 3rd density understanding as a universal creator. In other words, logos creates on a universal level of being. Logos creates physical universes, in which it and the creator may experience themselves. Let there be light. 3. Light. To manifest this infinite spiritual or life force energy into a physical thought form of densities, logos creates the 3rd distortion of light. From the 3 original primary distortions of the One into making the creation, arise myriad hierarchies of other sub-distortions, containing their own specific paradoxes. The goal of the game is to enter into these in further divisions of creation, and then seek to harmonize the polarities in order to once again know oneself as the creator of them. The nature of all such physically manifest energy is light. Wherever thus exists any form of physical matter, there is light, or divine intelligent energy at its core or center. Something which is infinite cannot be other than, or many. An infinite creator knows only unity. Thus, drawing upon its infinite intelligence, the infinite creator designed a blueprint based on the finite principles of free will of awareness and sub-level creations, which in turn could become aware of themselves and seek to experience themselves as creators. And so the Russian doll-style experiment was stepped down and down and down, levels of creation within levels of creation. The one infinite creator, or great central sun, steps down. Its infinite energy to become logos. Logos in turn designs vast universes of space, as yet unmaterialized, stepping down and splitting itself again into logoi, plural, in other words, into an array of central suns, which will each become a logos or co-creator of its own universe. with each unique individualized portion of the one infinite creator, containing within it as its very essence, intelligent infinity. The end of this cycle heralds literally a new world age and a new creation, a new heaven and a new earth, and is the time of the great harvest. Smaller cycles yield a harvest, and then life continues on the planet as normal. Great cycles yield a great harvest, and the end of current life on the third density. See it as a kind of cosmic jet wash and deep clean, while the planet takes a rest and regenerates herself. When this life cycle ends, all things will pass away, and all things shall be made new. Collectively, humanity right now is growing and developing into the beings you have long been encoded to be. Yet, as with any labor, it is not the mother or the baby who is in charge. It is the primal process of birth itself, unfolding its own destiny. So December 21st, 2012 AD is not the day where all of the sudden the lights go out and everything will suddenly change. Rather, we are now in the process of this transition from one world age to the next. The changes are underway and will continue steadily accelerating as we head towards the culminating date. The 26,000-year cycle is composed of 5 lesser cycles, each of which are 5,125 years in duration. Each of these 5 cycles is considered its own world age or creation cycle. Our present great cycle is called the Age of the Fifth Sun. This 5th age is the synthesis of the previous 4. The initial date that Earth entered the 5th world was August 13th, 3113 BC, written in Mayan long count notation as 13, 0.0.0.0. Planet Earth and her inhabitants are currently traveling through the 13th Baktun cycle. This cycle is known both as the triumph of materialism and the transformation of matter. On 13.0.0.0, the December solstice sun will be found in the band of the Milky Way, directly in the position of the dark rift in the galaxy, forming an alignment between the galactic plane and the solstice meridian. We are about to enter into a literal alignment of the cosmic, galactic, solar, and lunar planes. This is an event that has slowly converged over a period of thousands of years and is caused by the precession of the equinoxes. Kind of like a turning of the universal gears, it brings about the great harvest and the return of the Lord of the harvest. Those of the predominantly positive polarity, love and light, will ascend to a beautiful new 4th density Earth, where you will begin to work upon your learning and demonstrating of love and compassion. It will be a very beautiful and golden age. The 4th density begins to open you up to your true powers as a unique individualized aspect of the one infinite creator. You will perform works and wonders of the like that were promised you would do, and even greater things than these. It will be a very magical time for you. For the majority of humans on the earth who could be considered, shall we say, lukewarm, they will experience a period of what will feel ecstatic, 0-point time, where you feel totally at one with the Creator, giving you an encouraging reminder and glimpse of who you really are, before the veil of forgetfulness once again descends upon you, and you will be transported to another 3rd density planet, a kind of Earth replica, to continue working upon yourselves and learning that life here is all about making choices. You will remain quarantined, incarnating in 3rd density matter until the time of the next harvest, in which time you will need to have proved yourselves that you have learned how to be more positive beings, focused more upon being of service to others rather than seeking only to serve yourself. Well, I have imparted much during this session, with thanks to the quality of your inquiries, and I must now take my leave for today. If you have further questions on the harvest you wish me to speak in more detail on, if you ask, I can answer. Or any other questions you have too on other matters, I will get to them all as time allows, as with the other, respectfully asked, questions here, since I took these away with me to reply to earlier. If time permits, I will check in with you tomorrow. 1. A lot of what you write seems reminiscent of the raw material, especially the concept of harvest, STS and STO choices, and intelligent infinity. It is indeed extremely similar. We both originate from the source of the infinite creator, and we both remember where we come from. I would expect our messages to contain the same core truths. The messages of the 6th density soul group Ra is the most accurate information in your mainstream circulation at this point in time. It is approximately 85 to 90% accurate from what I have seen. The material was brought to my attention when it first came out, something like about 25 years or so ago if memory serves. I read a lot of it, but not all. I do not have very much free time for that kind of thing with my many duties, though others of the family gave it a close scrutiny to judge its accuracy and were very pleased with the end product. 2. What function, if any, do alien abductions have? Why are abductees chosen? That depends upon who is doing the abducting. Most of what you hear termed as abductions are conducted by your own governments, especially the ones where the so-called Greys are involved. Something I found extremely interesting is the concept of the Grand Age being split into 5,125-year cycles. 3113 BC, the beginning of the current sub-age, was a time of great activity. Is the construction of stone monuments in Western Europe, the Middle East, and Egypt at this time related to the recognition of this cycle? What was the purpose of Britain's stone circles and Egypt's pyramids? They are more than mere markers of an eon change. They must have had some enormous significance. Actually, something I'd most like to know is, were the builders of these monuments members of the enslaved masses who were trying to understand the nature of existence, or were the builders members of your elite bloodline? Yes, there is significance in these occurrences according to the space-time of their happenings. The group's soul complex Ra was the architect of these structures. They were created from thought. When one understands and sees that all is illusion or thought, one can use the force to manipulate the illusions. All things, seen and unseen, are interconnected life force energy. Once you know what the magician knows, it's not magic, it's a tool of creation. Thank you for your questions. They were very insightful. It is your kind that has ruined the world. Thinking of yourselves as higher than anyone. If I saw you in real life, it wouldn't be pretty. You lack understanding, not to mention eloquence. To understand higher, try thinking outside of the box for a moment. If I am walking along the ground and you are flying above me in an airplane, does that make you better than me? No, it just makes you higher.
I hope that you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. If you enjoyed tonight's story, then please subscribe to the channel as more green texts will appear daily. A new broadcast will appear when the clock strikes midnight Central Time.